Yo, what is up YouTube? How you guys doing? Hope you guys having a good day. Today we're gonna check out a little updated version of the deck that I've posted before. I've been testing it out and I've been trying on PvP to see what's actually really good. I have some duel videos I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys. Hopefully you guys stay tuned for those. I have about 3-4 duels I saved with this. Let's go ahead and take into the updated look on this deck. There's so much going on with the deck. It's hard to kind of condense it to see what is good and what isn't. That's why testing is very important. So let's go ahead and check into it. As you see, it's a 21 main deck here, and this is the Spellcaster counter beatdown deck. So as you can tell, the first two cards are Sphere Karibo. I'm a huge fan of Sphere Karibo. It's pretty much a staple in almost any deck to at least have one. I like running two. It gives me a chance to stall for a little bit. Really great, and it also is a dark, which comes into play later on. I will show you a card that kind of works with it. I am testing out the Master Magician on this deck. I am running the Citadel. So there might be a chance where you have that, especially if you open hand the Citadel. Later down the road, you probably get the Master Magician and have a chance to special summon it by using its effect. But if you can't, even distributing two monsters to normal summon him out, his effect is actually really great. Is once per turn you can discard a spell card to then target a card on the field and destroy it, which is actually really great. It's 2700 beater. And it's a spellcaster, so it works with the skill, as you can tell by the power of the dark. So it becomes a 2900 beater. Now I'm taking in Dark General Freed. This is an interesting tech. I like him. He works sometimes, he doesn't work sometimes. He's just a one tribute summon, which is actually not that bad. You can't special summon him, but it says negate any spell effects that target a face-up dark monster you control. If you do, destroy that spell card. And then during your draw phase, instead of conducting your normal draw phase or draw, you can add one level 4 dark monster from your deck to your hand. This card must be face up on the field, activate and resolve. So you can get your maidens to your hands pretty easily from the deck, which is actually really good. It's good and bad, the part with negating spell effects, because as you can tell, I'm running triple Wonder One. And when you run triple Wonder One and you summon him onto the field, he does negate and destroy your Wonder Ones. So you do got to be careful with that. You have to work around that. So I wouldn't say this is kind of a beginner's deck, but you do have to work around that. But being able to quickly draw the monsters you need, like Maiden, which is one of the most important cards to have in this deck. Next we have Magical Marionette. He is also a level 5, just one tribute monster. Each time a spell card is activated, place one spell card on this card. When it resolves, this card gains 200 attack for each spell counter on it. You can remove 2 counters to target one monster on the field and destroy that target, which is really good because it doesn't have to be face down or face up. It can just, any monster you're on the field, you can destroy it. It can even be yours for some reason or another. They might have some kind of card that's actually hurting you, but you can't get rid of it for some reason. You can easily just destroy with this for some reason or another. With the field card on the field, he becomes 2200 already. Adding a spell to it, it'd be 24. So it's pretty hard to beat some monsters when they're coming out so fast like this. The most powerful monster in this deck is probably Maiden. It's a 1700 beater, as you can tell. With the field card that you start off with Yugi, it becomes a 1900 B-stick, and then when it destroys a monster by battle, it doesn't have to destroy it and be sent to the graveyard. As long as it destroys it by battle successfully, and even if it comes back, it gains a spell counter on it, and when every spell counter that's on it it gains 200 attack. So from 1900 from you first summon it to attacking and destroying an opponent's monster becomes 21, and it just continues to get worse and worse every time they set a monster. It just becomes stronger and stronger. Which is really good. You can partner it up with a lot of other cards to get spell counters on it. I'm also taking in a Blast Magician. He's a 1400 beater, 1700 defense, so you can just set it, and most opponent's monsters won't get over it pretty easily. Some will if they're like a beatdown deck. But this one says, each time a spell card is activated, place one spell counter on it. You can remove any number of spell counters from this card and then target one face-up monster on the field with attack less than or equal to the number of counters you remove times 700. Destroy that target. So if you get 3 counters on this card, which is pretty easy to get done, activates anything to get counters on here, but pretty easy, like I said. Get 3 counters, you can destroy an 1800 beast stick on your opponent's side of the field pretty easily. Again, 1400 attack, so if you want to activate Wonder Wand and make it with the field card 2100 beast stick, that's 200 from the field card, so it makes it 16, and 500 from Wonder Wand. So again, 2100, pretty big, pretty beefy monster. Just taking in that. I'm also taking in just one Armor X. He's not a spellcaster, which I'm kind of upset that I wish he was a spellcaster. But this card says this card cannot attack in the same turn it is normal summon, flipped, or special summon. During each of your and your opponent's standby phases, remove one spell counter on your side of the field. If you do not, destroy this card. Now, why am I taking him in? Because he's a 2400 beast stick. Just by summoning him, not a lot of your opponent's monsters on the first turn can do anything about it. He works really well with the deck in the sense how they all gain spell counters, and you can just remove it from anywhere. So it kind of works well with what I'm taking in, which is the Pitch Black Power Stone. You summon him, you set the Power Stone, you flip it, so you have it on your opponent's turn. It just removes it. Come back on your turn, you have it to remove one more counter on it, and then this time it's allowed to attack. Again, it's a 2400 beater, so it's just really beefy monster on the field. Again, I just wish he was a spellcaster. Next you have Triple Magical Plant. This card, I wish had a little bigger defense besides 200. Even a Sphere Karibo can beat over it, but his effect, which by the way it is a spellcaster, his effect is when it's flipped, doesn't matter how, place one spell counter on each face-up card on the field that can be placed a spell counter on it. He works really well with Arcane Barrier, which we will get into it later. I am taking in one Creeping Darkness. If you saw my last video, you noticed that I've had like 2 or 3, I forget. One is just perfect. It works well because if you don't know what it says, it's banish 2 dark monsters from your graveyard, add 1 level 4 dark monster from your deck to your hand. So what's really good is if you have Magical Plant and Sphere Karibo, because it is a dark, next turn you can go ahead and activate this when they're both in the graveyard. Get your Maiden, which is one of your most important cards to have in your hand and on the field, and go ahead and do some damage. I am running Triple Wonder Wand. I never count Sphere Karibos because 99.99% of the time you're not summoning Sphere Karibo. Minus 2 monsters on my deck list besides General Freed and the Rock monster, the Armor X. Everything else is a spellcaster. So you can equip to it. If for some reason or another you need to send it to the graveyard, you can go ahead and do that. Again, you use it on Blast Magician with the field cards is 2100. You add it on this is with the field card, it becomes a 1200. You can do some combos with this when it comes to using the Arcane Barrier, which again we'll talk about it later. Magical Citadel, if you don't know what it is, I am teching this in just to see how it works. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And again, this is why I'm playtesting to see where it's more consistent. If you don't know what it says, is each time a spell card is activated, place one spell counter on this card. Um, if a spell counter is destroyed, place the spell counters on this card. So, for instance, if Magical Maiden got destroyed and had 6 counters, all 6 counters would go on this card. And then if for some reason I activate an effect that will remove spell counters, I can remove it from this the field card instead. And if this was to get destroyed for some reason, just remove a counter from it. Again, it works well, obviously, with Ideon, Master Magician. Again, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. That's where playtesting comes into play. Arcane Barrier, the draw power of the deck. Now, I don't want to run more than one. I've tried testing it out. It becomes very clunky. Don't like it that way. But pretty much, every time a Spellcaster monster on the field is destroyed face up, even during battle, it gets flipped, or if it's face down, it gets a counter on it. You can have 4 spell counters on it, and you have to send that card and a spellcaster to the graveyard to draw as many counters that were on the card. So it works really well with Magical Plant. You set this, you activate this, they destroy your monster. When it gets flipped, it puts a counter on here, and when it gets destroyed, it puts a counter. So you already have 2 on the spell card. There's times where I've opened Magical Plant, Arcane Barrier, Sphere Karibo, and Wonder Wand. You can do some things where you no longer need your Magical Plant. You can just send it to the graveyard with Wonder Wand, or you can activate Pitch Black to add more counters into the Arcane Barrier, and then send the Magical Plant to the graveyard to draw more cards from Arcane Barrier. There's a lot of stuff you can kind of combo with. And then the last 2 cards I'm taking in is 2 Pitch Black Power Stones. You activate this by adding 3 counters on it. Once per turn, you can remove a counter from this card and add it to a card that can have a spell counter on it. After all the counters is gone from this card is destroyed. Again, you can put anything on it. You can put it on Maiden and make it even stronger. There's a lot of stuff you can actually do. So let's go ahead and get actually to some of the duels that I've been actually playing with. So let's go ahead. I believe it's here. I should have maybe about 3 duels. Yeah, so let's go ahead and check out the 3 duels. You'll see what I'm talking about, how the overall gameplay is. So enough talking to me. Let's go ahead and check out the duel.
Let the game begin! It's time to duel!
As the spider said to the fly, you flew right into my trap, Yugi. Duel! It's my turn! I set a card. I end my turn.
It's my turn. I draw a card. Now's the time. I summon a monster in attack position. From my hand...
Now here I don't want to be greedy and activate 2 Wonder Wands. I only activated 1, and you'll see what happens.
That won't help. I reveal my face down card. My trap activates.
I set a card. I use my face down card. I activate an equip spell. Let's battle! Let's do this! I attack your life points directly!
Ah! This can't be happening!
I end my turn.
You're really bugging me. My turn. I draw. The spell card, Jade Insect Whistle. The sound drives your deck's insects wild. From my hand,
summon a monster. Time to battle. You're finished. I attack your life points directly.
Alright, so that was one of the duels. Let's go ahead and check out another duel that I played with.
Here I go. It's time to duel.
Very well. Let us begin.
Duel. My turn. I set this monster face down. I set a card. I set this card face down. My turn is done.
My turn. Draw. And now, I summon a monster in attack position. Time to battle. I'll cut you down. My monster attacks.
Exactly what I was waiting for. I use my face down card.
And the reason I flipped both of the power stones is because when they flip the magical plant, it will put the counters on the black stones so I can use them for later. So this is more counters.
Exactly what I was waiting for. My monster's effect activates.
That ends my turn.
Here I go. My turn. I draw a card. Here I go. I summon a monster in attack position. From my hand, I activate an equip spell. My continuous trap activates. My continuous trap activates. My monster's effect activates. Let's battle! Playtime is over. I attack your life points directly.
I can endure this.
I end my turn.
I'm not out of options yet. My turn. I draw. I set my monster. From my hand, I activate a spell.
Ah, it's not over yet.
My turn is complete.
Okay, here I go. My turn. I draw. Here I go. I summon a monster. My continuous trap activates. My continuous trap activates. Let's battle. Here we go. I attack with a monster. My monster's effect.
And as you can tell here is game. So let's go ahead and go to the next duel so I don't waste more time. Alright, and the last duel I will show you guys with testing this deck out.
This is my key to victory. Here I go. It's time to duel. If you are a true duelist, I expect nothing less than your best strategies. Duel. My turn. Now's the time. I summon a monster in attack position. From my hand, I activate an equip spell. My turn is done. It's my turn. I draw a card. I set this monster face down. My turn is done. It's my turn. I draw a card. I set a card. I'm counting on you. I tribute summon a monster.
The reason for me tribute summoning for Dark General was so that next turn I can definitely get my maiden to my hand.
My turn is done. Here I go. My turn. I draw a card. My monster's effect activates. Exactly what I was waiting for. I reveal my face down card. I continue.
Now I didn't have to activate that, was premature. I just wanted to activate it.
I set this monster face down. My turn is done. Here I go. My turn. My monster's effect activates. Now's my chance. My monster's effect activates. Now's the time. I summon a monster in attack position. My continuous trap activates. Let's battle. Here we go. I attack with a monster. My monster's effect activates. Here we go. I attack your life points directly. I can still turn this duel around. I end my turn. I refuse to lose. My turn. I still believe in my cards. I draw. My monster's effect activates. Here I go. I summon a monster in attack position. Time to battle. Let's do this. My monster attacks. Ah, this is far from over.
And this is one of the reasons why I actually like having Blackstone, is because he could have actually beaten me if I didn't have this card in my deck.
I draw. I expected you to do that. My monster's effect activates.
Until I draw the Wonder Wand.
This trap activates. From my hand, I activate an equipped spell. Time to battle. Let's do this. I attack with a monster. My cards will not fail me. My monster's effect activates. I end my turn. I will not lose. My turn. I still believe in my cards. I draw. My monster's effect activates. I set a monster. That's the end of my turn.
Now all I gotta do is hope and I get a monster to my hand, which as you can tell,
Expected you
I
to
do.
that.
So that's pretty much game. So hopefully you guys like this video. Thumbs up if you guys do. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys would change or how you guys think of this deck. Again, I'm keep playtesting to see what would actually work out. But again, thumbs up the video if you guys do. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I might be doing some more videos, so definitely hit that subscribe button. Alright guys, you guys have a good one. Take care. Peace out.